people call you Willie most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, how easy is that to forget your own name?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you hear it a lot in the locker room, I think it's harder to forget my real name now because I hear Willie so much, just from being around the guys every day. So yeah, my mom calls. She definitely doesn't call me Willie.
Your
My
mom.
mom does not call me Willie. It's Charles or or Babe or whatever have you. But yeah, the nicknames are kind of like a focal point to every guy on the team. You just always have your nickname, and that's your name. You're no longer your actual name.
What
You know.
about your wife? How does she call
She does not call me Willie. No chance. She is just like yeah, babe or yeah,
But yeah,
Charles.
Willie is
Yeah, it's just the locker room, team kind of just a team thing. Yeah.
So
So,
tell me more about your hockey childhood. Why hockey? Why goalie?
yeah, yeah, that's a long one. Hockey was just my family. We moved into this neighborhood, and that's kind of what all the kids were doing. They're playing hockey, and
Outside?
yeah, outside, yeah, like roller hockey. And then my team, we went to a field trip, or not my team, sorry, at school, we went to a field trip, and my teacher told me that, or told my parents that I was a pretty good ice skater, and they didn't believe it. I've never ice skated in my life, and she was like, no, you guys should get in some skates and stuff. So we did. It was winter, and I had a pond in the back, and yeah, before you know it, I was teaching myself how to skate, and just kind of picked it up right away. And then
Hmm.
yeah, got
But
into
you know what people say? Goalies are the bad skaters.
yeah, it's a myth. It's a myth. They say that they're the best skaters. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's honestly a part of it was I just love skating, being out there, and yeah, my brother and I we played on the same team, but our goalie was really bad. So we had this like thing where like if he would score, I would try and stop the puck, and then we started winning games, and it kind of stuck, and that's kind of how I began to be a goalie. I started like loving the gear, the gloves, the helmet designs, and that's kind of how it all started.
Was it expensive, like when you were growing up?
Yeah, yeah, goalies. That's the first thing you hear when parents talk about goalies. Oh, stay away, stay away. It is pretty expensive. I think my gear right now probably cost around 5 to 6 grand. Yeah,
What?
it's getting crazy now.
It's like house down payment.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. 20%, 20% down. No, it's pretty crazy. So growing up, um, we were able to just a lot of my friends who had brothers, siblings who played goalie. I was able to like use their gear, and then my parents got me some gear too. Once I got into like some new gear, once I got to like my sophomore, junior year of high school, and started to get really serious with the sport, and that was great. But definitely, it's really tough. We had a local junior team that would have a big sale at the end of the year. So I'd be able to get some good gear from like these junior goalies when I was in seventh, eighth grade, and that was really cool. But it's definitely an expensive position, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
right now,
Yes,
especially.
especially right now. The gear is getting. I looked at it the other day, and pads are going for $2,500 to $3,000, and that's like I got a little one, and I'm like, stay away from goalie.
Who was your favorite goalie growing up?
Ooh, favorite goalie? I'd say being from Detroit was probably Dominic Hasek.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Dominator. He was just. I heard so many things about practice, how he would only let in like 2, 3 goals of practice, and just how he just competed on the ice in the games. I mean, like it was just impossible to score on him, and he took so much pride in that. So just being from Detroit, him playing in Detroit, being able to watch that on a daily basis was like really cool growing up. So I would have to say Dalvin Hasek.
How hard is it, or easy, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
for you to process bad games?
that's a great question. That's a great question. I think as I've gotten older, it's gotten easier. But yeah, when I was up until I was 24, um, yeah, it was tough. I would handle it differently every time, and that's frustrating too. Like not knowing whether it was, feeling like it was my fault and just hammering myself, like working harder in practice, like whatever it was. It was just so many things that like it's frustrating as a goalie, and a lot of times as a goalie you're kind of on an island by yourself. So I think now as I'm older, I'm I have my life coaching certification. I'm kind of working on like mental performance with kids across the country, and it's helped me a lot too to be able to handle, um, yeah, when things don't go your way and how to kind of change the perspective and outlook of a bad game and kind of using it as almost like a positive by taking my mistakes or the things the reads I was making or the plays I was making, kind of just changing them a little bit and knowing that, hey, like I may have played bad for maybe a few minutes or made a few mistakes, but I played good for 45 minutes or whatever the case is, and it can kind of change it, turn it around to like actually be like, hey, like instead of saying you had a bad game, let's change these bad mistakes and work on those. So I think the last few years have been a huge progress with that. But it's taken a lot of time, a lot of time. Like I said, probably until I was 25, where I was able to truly take a bad game and not dwell on it and learn from it.
So can we say that goalies are perfectionists?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think now goalies, um, just in every league, NHL all the way down, um, you kind of look at it as like goals are going to happen. You know, like it's a team game. Um, Everyone's out there working hard, and we put the time in to work at stopping pucks um, and practicing every day. I think it's an imperfect game, so you can't. No one's perfect, so I think that helps a lot. Like saying we are human and we make mistakes, and it's a game of mistakes. So it's definitely a position that you can always work on something every day. So I think with that, you just kind of put all your work into each game, and then whatever the outcome is the outcome. You can't really control that. You just control what you can kind of work on and just let everything else go because it's just you, the next game's coming right around the corner. You have to be ready for it. So.
And going back to your childhood, what was your dream, and did you expect that this job going to be this hard?
Uh, you know, I actually there's man, hockey and I got into some battles growing up. Just it, it was tough. I started when I was like 13, so a little later, and I just didn't understand like a lot of the concepts of hockey, especially goalie. Um, and I would say like just growing up and having that chance to talk with just goalies at different levels and just kind of seeing how they approached every game and um, just playing. I was able to play AAA in Michigan and with a lot of good goalies who are some are in the NHL now, Jack Campbell and Hellebuck and Nedeljkovic with the Red Wings. Like just seeing how being around that group of guys just helps knowing that we're all going through this tough position. How can we come together to um, just learn from each other. I think that's my biggest takeaway is just being in goalie camps and working with goalie schools and my goalie coaches, AJ Wallachek and so many guys, Neil Conway, Mike Nepsa in college. Like all these guys were just able to kind of talk to, sit down just like we're doing and just kind of grow and develop. I think that's just the biggest thing. If I can grow just a little bit every day, then I think that I've done my job. But kind of back to your question, like no, I thought I wanted to play college hockey was my biggest thing, and after yeah, it got to the point where we're talking about pro hockey, I was like, wow, this is like becoming a reality, and kind of out of nowhere for me, and yeah, I just when I made my first contract to play in this league, I was super excited and didn't know what to expect, and now I enjoy it a lot being here and just the guys, the coaches, the ownership, like everything is just really good. And yeah, I'm just really happy that I was able to say I played pro hockey.
You sound like Detroit Red Wings fan.
Yeah, yeah, big Red Wings fan. That was pretty much Detroit fan. Lions, Pistons, um, and they're starting to come together. The Red Wings, like they're just growing up watching them. That was just what we watched while we ate dinner. It was either a Pistons game or a Red Wings game.
Oh, so Russian Five.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Like I said, yeah, that's funny you say that because that's kind of, I didn't know too much. Like I said, I started playing ice hockey a little later, like so it was like 2002, 2003. So like it was kind of like before my time. I didn't know a lot of history until I got a little older, and yeah, got to learn about the Rush Five and all the history with Detroit. My mom actually, she grew up in Detroit, and they would when they'd have their games, they would park like in front of her like driveway and stuff like that. Like she was like, yeah, so she never really knew hockey, but just knew that when there was a hockey game, you couldn't drive anywhere because it was just packed full of fans and stuff. But yeah, big Detroit family. Detroit. My mom. We were talking yesterday. They were watching the hockey game last night. Um,
No, they
they beat
won.
Tampa.
They
Yeah,
won.
7-4. I know.
Yeah,
I
that
saw
was
this first.
terrible.
I
You
know.
lost first.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we always watching the Red Wings Red Wings games and stuff. Is just my kind of childhood. Just watching it, being like watching the goalies, like, oh my gosh, I could never do this. You just see how good they are, and then you get older and you see. But yeah, it was always like I said, Pistons game or Red Wings game, and then we were having dinner at the table, and that's kind of what really got me like passionate about hockey.
So you're a really big hockey man, but do you
Yeah.
see that in Florida, hockey is not really
Well,
popular?
it's so amazing though, like to see how in Jacksonville, especially like with the 8U team, the junior Icemen, this organization, the rink, and yesterday we had a game Wednesday, and it was rocking. It was like 5 to 6 thousand fans there, like
Yes, all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
all the time. Especially like even during the week, it's so impressive to see. Like I mean, I played in a lot of places, and like the commitment of the fans, the passionate, like they're giving it to the other goalies when they let in the goal. Like it's intense, and I just think it's gonna keep growing. And I didn't know what to think. I played against Jacksonville when I was in Manchester a few times, and they always had a good fan base. And I was like, how? Like we're in Jacksonville, Florida, and then I come here and see why is because the people, like the ownership, the coaching staff, the community. Like everyone was just so tight knit and close and passionate. And there you go. You got great fans, and it's a fun atmosphere to play in front of.
Do you follow NHL besides Red Wings? Do you
Yeah.
like
Oh
the
yeah. The
NHL?
the biggest thing that I follow is my favorite goalies. So like
Oh, okay.
Vasilevsky, Tampa, um, yeah, Saros in Nashville. Kind of just always watch like.
That was my next question.
Oh really? I'm skipping. I'm
Go
skipping.
ahead, go ahead.
Man, it's funny. Yeah, I just always follow goalies more than anything. So teams, not per se. Usually just like buddies that I know that are playing in the NHL, and then my favorite goalies just just to watch them. I mean, it's just so fascinating, like how they play the game, how they think the game, and so that's probably my biggest thing. Just yeah, the Red Wings, and then my favorite goalies, and just buddies who I know who are playing. Just kind of keep in touch with them and watch
If
them.
I make you choose McDavid, McCart, or Ovechkin, who do you want to face, to challenge?
Oh man. You know what? I have to say McDavid.
Okay, I knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
I felt it.
McDavid, man. I got to watch him practice one time when I was in Ontario, and with the LA's farm team. They practice. LA practice with the same practice rink as the AHL team when you're in Ontario, and so Edmonton was in town, and they were practicing after us. And yeah, I just stayed and watched, and my jaw was to the ground. Like it didn't even look like he was playing the same sport as everyone else. Like it was insane. You see it on TV, but you really see so many other things when they're just practicing messing around just on the same ice you just skated on. And I was just it kind of just opened my eyes, and to just say that like no matter where you are, you work hard, you put the time in, like you can do amazing things. And that's kind of what McDavid was showing. He was just in his own world, having a blast, having fun, first and foremost, having fun, loving what he's doing. um, and yeah, all the things that come with it are just the cherry on top. But really cool to kind of see that. But I would have loved to be able to stay out there for a minute just to face one breakaway, just to get just to say I got scored out by McDavid. But yeah, I'd say McDavid. He's just so much fun to watch.
Do you think Ovechkin will beat Gretzky's record
Oh yeah,
if he
absolutely,
will? Oh, wow.
absolutely.
Okay.
Ovechkin is such a great, just everything for the sport of hockey. And I mean, he's a goal ever since he entered the league with that crazy goal he scored, on his back, like to now, he's still doing it. And he has kids. And just a great, um, just like I said, player for the sport, and he's just bringing so much to Washington. And yeah, I saw the other day that they're keeping their team so that he can help him break the record and not trade guys because they're, whatever. So that just has to go to show what kind of guy that, Ovechkin is. And yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, no one can stop the shot. He has the hardest shot.
Just shoot and
Yeah, he
score.
shoots and he scores. Easy game, easy game. Just he sits there and just takes one timers and yeah, and so I say no question he's breaking the record.
If you have to pick one favorite goalie right now, the hottest one, who
Oh,
is that?
easily Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky is he's like McDavid with goalie. He's playing a different sport out there. He's got every single tool that you need as a goalie. Uh, height, um, just the way he moves, the way he thinks the game. I just think he's a wall. He's a wall. If I were to try and model my game after anyone, it would try to just be Vasilevsky on his very worst day. Like just that's how perfect I think he is, and his approach to the game, practice. He doesn't want just like Dominic Hasek. He doesn't want to get scored on ever, and you can see it in the games, and I'm sure it's the same in practice. So yeah, Vasilevsky, no question. I think for me, it's one of my favorite goalies ever.
What is the hardest shot you ever faced?
So Pav is a hard shot. Howard Chuck on our team too. Zach Jordan on our team. Like we have a lot of guys who can shoot the puck. But yeah, I'd have to say it's between Pavel and my buddy um, uh, Hawkins. He plays at Toledo right now, and he's always, as a kid, we grew up playing together, and he's always had a harder shot than anyone. Um, yeah, he's been shooting pucks since he was 2 years old. Before he could walk, he was shooting pucks.
Hey, did you ever had a fight?
uh, had one little fight.
Little? What does
Yeah,
it mean? Little blood.
I know,
Little.
just a little bit. It was just a crazy event. Like it was back in AAA. I was playing with CompuWare, and we were playing Little Caesars, and it was a bench clearing brawl, championship game, and it just kind of got out of hand. And yeah, we were outnumbered. We were missing like four guys that game, so guys were just getting kind of like jump 2-on-1, and yeah, just like everyone just cleared and just kind of it was more so just helping, teammates out, like just get the guys getting jumped because we were down guys, and so yeah, more so just kind of helping guys, and so yeah, just one. It was like one fight when I think I was eighth grade, um, and yeah, and that was it. Haven't got into it ever since. Just kind of let them handle it. I'll just try and keep my face how it is.
Like I'm a goal.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my face how it is. I'm okay. You guys go ahead. But no, we have so many guys on our team, especially this year, who can handle that. A lot of guys who fight, so I just let them do their job, and yeah, I'll give them the stick taps and clap for them. Because yeah, we got some mean guys, and which is great to have that they have my back, they have anyone's back on the ice, and that's just great. It's exciting. It's a lot of times goalies, growing up, it was like you do good, everyone's happy. You do bad, everyone doesn't like you, and it's just to live like that, and try and not show emotion. You keep it bottled up, and it's like forget that. Like be emotion, like show your personality. So yeah, I love having a good opportunity like after a win, to celebrate. More so like for me, like what I probably would after each shootout, just because you kind of have to be so ready. For me, be so ready for the next one. But yeah, after a game, like after a big win, like my buddy like Broussard, he just scored a goal.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I posted it.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. He did a knee slide, like the World Cup in soccer, did a knee slide and like put his hands out, and I was like, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, yeah, like that'll like first Maine Mariner to ever score a goal, like just like I mean, so cool, you know.
Do
And
you want to score the goal?
oh yeah, I would love to score a goal. I'll leave that for the puck handlers. I'm just trying to make it pass with the defenseman, you know. But I just think that's just so good for the game, so good for goalies to see that you can, because that's kind of like when I joined a little late, and my personality didn't match. Like I was not the same goalie I was when I was in high school. Like I wore it on my sleeve. We got scored on, you would know, and I'm banging my stick. I
Well,
get
some
mad.
people still do
They
that in
do.
the NHL.
Exactly. I know.
I'm
You see
doing
it. Yeah. Yeah. You'll see it. Exactly. Like I was the same way, and I heard like some of my favorite goalies, like they told Fleury that he wasn't going to make it to the NHL if he kept doing that, and he did. He got better. Now he skates to the glass and just kind of gives a little whatever to himself, and he comes back and resets. Like he uses that anger and doesn't show it. So it's not frowned upon, and he changed that, and that's what I tried to do too. And it took some time, but I would get so mad, so upset. But yeah, I think you see some of the best goalies, Vasilevsky, change that energy to flipping the switch. Okay, it happened. Okay, now forget it. Now back in the game. But it definitely takes some time. But yeah, Fleury, they told him he had to, and then he did it, and he was the like first overall pick at 18 in the NHL. So just really cool, and I think it does make a difference that if you channel your energy and aggression and frustration, into just kind of dialing it back down and get ready for the next one.
Do you have any superstitions?
Yeah, yeah,
You
I'm
don't
pretty.
have to tell us.
Yeah, we'd probably be here for another couple hours.
That many?
Just
What?
it's not like it's things that I just do, just because I've always done it. I think um, it's like to me this superstition. It's to be able to play hockey and play so many games and practice every day. Kind of have to go through a set of routines to keep your mind to allow your mind to just be free when you get to the ice, so that way you don't have to think about anything, because it's tough, like sometimes every day if you're hurt and you're tired, or from playing a
Bored?
3-and-3. Yeah, bored. Yeah, bored. Yeah, not getting any sleep because you have a 9-month old. Whatever it is, I think it's nice to have just that routine so that that's one thing that you don't have to think about, and you just go out and play. So for me, yeah, I kind of will do the same thing. They might not be in the same order, but there's just the same warm up, the same pregame stretches, the same breakfast before home games, the same, like,
Wow.
yeah, everything is the exact same, just so um, I can kind of just, I don't have to worry about it. Like I know when once this gets done, it's going to allow me. I think another thing too, like when you do something and you do something well, okay, you want to do it like that again. So I think when my routine allows me to perform well, oh, I don't need to change anything. I can keep that there. It's almost like getting your coffee before work. It's the same thing with hockey. Like you just do certain things a certain way so that you can have a good productive day. And that way you can just forget about it. Like I do my thing. Like, okay, I leave the rink. I come back later and everything's kind of set, and I can kind of perform and not have to worry about anything, any hiccups or anything. So I think it just allows for just an easy, just progression. Because I mean, on game day, and like today, like Pav, we're playing Orlando. Like you're at the rink for a total of 8 hours. For in the morning, from 8:30 to say 11 or so, and then at the game from 5 till 10. So it's like you have to have these things in place, or else you're just it's just gonna be a long day. So I just think it helps to just clear the mind a little bit. People like to call it superstition, but I think everyone, every day, like you wake up, say whatever it is, shower, you put your clothes on, like these are all routines. I just think it's the same thing in hockey. You get there, some people do shower, you put on your Under Armour, and you want, like, I think we all just do things to prepare to be our best selves. And once you find it, you don't want to stray from that. You don't want to do anything different. You want to perform well, so you want to keep doing things that prepare you to do well. So that's what I think it is. So they like to call it superstition, but I just like to say that I'm preparing to to perform. So I just do the
Preparing
same
to
thing.
perform.
Preparing to perform.
More
I might
hard.
have to,
Why?
write that one down.
Why is it?
Why? Yeah, so I think that's kind of where, because I didn't really notice it until, and I know I'm pretty like, I've gotten looser over the years, just experience, just playing the league. But I know in college I was pretty. I wouldn't really talk to anyone, and I would do a lot for 2 hours before the game. It hit me and I think we did like a little team event, actually in Indy, a couple years ago, and they said, like it was just we're all sitting there with the fans, and they're like, "Who's the most superstitious person on your team?" And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder." And everyone's like, "Willie," and I'm like, "Oh." I mean, I didn't know idea, like, but I had an idea, but I'm like, everyone was just like, no question. I was like, "Oh, okay." So, and I look back at it, I'm like, "Damn, I guess it does look like I'm pretty serious because I have something pretty much the whole leading up to every meeting with the coach to we're on the ice." So I was like, "Okay, I guess that is pretty." But for me, it's just preparing to perform. So, but I
Once
guess
again,
yeah,
the wisdom.
I had to throw it one more time in
Well,
there.
it sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm
It
gonna use it.
yeah.
What if someone touches your gear before the game?
Yeah, I'm good with that now. I'm
Oh,
good with that.
now?
So
Oh,
now,
what do you mean
yeah.
now?
In youth hockey,
Mhm.
oh man, I had a teammate, Jay Goldberg. If you see this, um, I would put on. Like I said, I was here up until like pro hockey, and I started playing more games. But I was like dialed. Everything had to go a certain way, and I would always put on my pads. We'd always sit next to each other, and I'd just be kind of waiting. He would just unbuckle my strap, unbuckle my strap, and like it
He
was
was
just
preparing you to
exactly,
perform.
exactly. Yeah, he was.
That's
He was.
mental
He was.
health,
Literally.
toughness.
Yeah, yeah. He was working my boundaries and making me uncomfortable, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. He was just. And it's funny because now it's actually helped me now when things are say like today we're in Orlando. Say there's traffic, you don't get there at. And that was my biggest thing that hurt me a couple of years. Like I need to get there like at home. I like to get there. I used to have to get there at 4:30 for a 7 o'clock game, but on the road you don't get there till 5. So now I have to try and get these 20 minutes, 30 minutes, what I would normally do, shorten down to like 5 minutes. So
No, no, I'm taking your time.
no, no, yeah. Like it's like with Goldberg, man, he just kind of would do things to kind of mess with me. It helped me like be like, hey, it's okay. Like you played this game for this long, you know what to do, and it allowed me to just adapt and yeah, be comfortable being uncomfortable, and that was just that's helped a lot. But that was one of my pet peeves for a long time. Like, don't touch my stuff, don't touch me, like don't talk to me. Like
Oh, so you're
it
one
was.
of those.
Oh yeah, I was like just so focused on just thinking about the puck and making saves and not letting it go in that I was actually hindering myself from playing like letting my personality and emotions show in the game. So once I turned pro, started to play more, just games, play more games. Was able to just yeah learn different things, watch different goalies, like and it just allowed me to just like, hey, like I can relax a bit here, I can chill,
I can talk to
yeah,
people.
I can talk to people. I can talk to people. People can talk to me. It's okay. Like it got to a point sometimes where I wouldn't listen to music, but I'd have my headphones in as if I am, but just so like no one would talk to me. So, but now I'm good. Now I'm talking to everybody, making sure I talk to everyone, seeing how everyone's doing, talking with the owner, like just being present and just there and just loose. It helps a lot.
I've heard that from goalies. And
Yeah.
Ilya Sorokin from Islanders,
Oh, love Sarah.
once he told me that he doesn't talk to people like a few days before
Oh
the
wow.
games,
Oh
but a
wow.
few years later, he was like, no, that's crazy. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That's extreme. That's funny. But I'm similar. Like still to this day, I will not go on social media after
The
my
games.
nap. After my
Okay.
nap. So yeah,
Oh, like
morning skate.
before your game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before the game. So
Yeah, don't
I'll
do that.
eat. Yeah, just there's no reason. I'll see it after. Like there's nothing that except distractions. Like you might see some stuff, like especially with those guys in NHL, you might see something about you on there. Like there's so many things that you don't need that you can see after. So yeah, after take a nap at like 2 o'clock. So like I said, eat and then everything's fine. Social media, all that. But once I take a nap, I wake up. I'm either texting, my family, Camille, um, and just yeah, just that's pretty much it. Just kind of hanging out, being present. And I think that's helped me too. And that's one thing that I always keep is just I don't with 6 7 hours without it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, you can handle
they
it.
can handle that.
Yeah.
They can handle it, right? And I'm not even a crazy social media guy at the first place, but I just found that helps me just be present in the games and during that time.
Do you make your wife follow your routines? Like before the game,
Uh,
you have to talk to me like this.
no,
Only this and that is
you
acceptable.
know what? It's so funny you say that because in college we started this thing um, that when it's game day, no matter what kind of day it could be the darkest, rainiest day, and I'll wake up and say, "It's a beautiful day," and that's it. And she'll say, "It is a beautiful day today," and then that's it. That's probably the only
You
thing.
need to write a book.
Yeah, you know what? That's coming too. That's in the works. Very, 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 very early in the works. But definitely want to do that. And just have times like this and talking with just Pav and there's so many stories we all have, and I think that's just so great for everyone to share. We all have a crazy road to how we got here in this locker room today. So, but yeah, that's probably it. That's the only thing. Like, we just say it's a beautiful day, and it just allows me to, no matter what happens, we're healthy, we're together, and playing hockey, and it's a beautiful day. So the weather has nothing to do with that. So I always enjoy that.
That would be beautiful to stop, but no, I still have a few things to
Right.
ask.
Hey, I'm having a great time. This is awesome.
Yeah. What do you think should be improved in hockey outside of the ring?
That's great. This is something that I think we all can probably agree to is, and they're starting to, but I think just showcasing other ethnic backgrounds, nationalities. I know one of my friends I play with in Indy, um, he was talking about how they were at different games. I think his wife was involved with them setting up like Russian like food tables at rinks so like people could experience what's like to eat in different countries and like for me being African American like having celebrations in February Black History Month like promoting things that are maybe outside of the majority of hockey and I just think that's so cool and you're seeing it more and more um, with indigenous just so many things that they're starting to incorporate. I think they're on the right track, and I hope that they continue to blow the doors off and just continue to get people in those on those teams and in the NHL working to show kids like, hey, like I look like this, and I see someone who looks like that in this NHL. Ovechkin, Wayne Simmons, all these guys that look like me. I can do that too. I just think it gives the next generation and kids who might to not have it all, but they see these guys on TV who might be in the same situation they were in when they were a kid. So I just think that's probably my biggest thing and something that I want to be a part of too one day is helping those next generations see that, hey, these guys were in your same shoes when they were 6 7 8 15 years old. I just think that's just something that if they continue to do that will be so good for the sport. Will grow the sport and just continue to promote like everyone is welcome to play. And if we can keep putting, it's an expensive game, so if we can keep implementing ways for kids to be able to play, um, for free and just to try things out, to go to games, I think it will just make a big difference for sure.
Hockey is for everyone.
Hockey is for
What do you
everyone.
think about women's hockey?
Oh, women's hockey. I love it. When I was in Buffalo my last year of college, we skated at the same rink as the Buffalo Buttes, who play in the NWHL. Yeah. So my goalie coach was their goalie coach as well, and oh my gosh, they were a blast. I did an internship and got to work with their team in the gym. I did like an internship at the
Oh,
gym in the
that's
rink.
so
Oh,
cool.
it was a blast. Like so many of the women were on the national teams for Team Canada, Team USA, and just seeing how they prepare, and a lot of them they're in like different situations. Like a lot of times there'd be girls who would just come in for the games, but they still work at their jobs back home. Like it's like the way that they had to like kind of come together was just very like it was tough. So like they had to really make like a really big effort to this grow chemistry with each other. Like whereas we're with our teams we're together every day, so it's pretty easy. But for them like meeting up for just games and people on different programs, like learning systems and playing together. I went to quite a few Buffalo Buttes games, and it was awesome. The place was rocking, like so many different people in the crowd too, like which is really cool to see. And it was just, it kind of blew my mind because I've never been to a game before, a almost professional game. And obviously with our All-Star game, there's a lot of women in the
Oh yeah,
women's
that's right. It's a
professional
big
league,
thing right
and they're just such great personalities. Like I always see them on SportsCenter on different things on the TV, talking about the PWHPA and just their league and how they're working at growing and what they can do. And I just am such a big advocate for like I said, hockey's for everyone, just like we said. And I just think that they keep pushing and giving them opportunities to grow. And yeah, I just think it's gonna be great. And like I said, I have a little girl, who one day, might want to aspire. She loves hockey, and I want her to have the opportunity, fair opportunity to play and enjoy and love it and get the respect that it really deserves. So
now.
big big fan.
How much fatherhood has changed?
Oh man, yeah.
So besides that, you don't have a sleep.
Yeah.
No more
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah. Say except the no sleep part. It's been amazing. Unlike anything I could ever prepare for or explain. It ever since you got here, March 18th, like um, it's just been the biggest accomplishment, biggest blessing of my life. And even on those days, yeah, where she is waking up every couple hours in the middle of the night, the morning comes and she smiles at you, and I feel like I have all the energy in the world. So um, it's it's especially even for goal. I got to bring her into after a playoff game last year, and yeah, bring in the locker room and stuff, and it was surreal. And I I was just kind of just didn't feel like it was real. And just to see her grow, and now, this year I might be holding her hand, as she walks around the locker room. So really, really cool. Fatherhood has just been everything that everyone has said, just the biggest blessing of your life. And I have such a great family with support, and even the girls here on the team just helping out. And it's just, and even the community, everyone. We had an event on Monday. I probably got asked about her 30,
Not about
40
you.
times. No.
About the
I
daughter.
even told Luke, I was like, yeah, Cody can't come. Do I even need to come? I was like, she can't make it. So do I need to? He's like, yeah, just come anyway. I was like, okay, I'll go. So, but yeah, she's just the star of the show, which is just, like I said, another surreal thing too. She's just such a sweetheart, and it's just been, yeah, like I said, every day it's just a great day because, yeah, she's just smiling and just loving life. So really fun.
Every day is a beautiful day.
Every
like
day
you
is a
said.
beautiful day. Right now, every day is a beautiful day. So really fun. Really
Thank you
fun.
for finding time.
Oh
Thank you.
man,